out of the blue, drifting off to the evening news. She said, honey, what would you do if you'd have never met me? I just laughed, said, I don't know. I could take a couple guesses though. And then I tried to dig real deep. Said, darling, honestly, I do a lot more offshore fishing. I probably eat more drive-through chicken. I take a few strokes off my gold. If I'd have never known your name, still be driving that old green Nova. Probably never would have heard of yoga. Be a better football fan. But if I was a single man, alone and out there on the moon, I'd be looking for a woman like you. I could tell I got her attention, and I said, baby, I forgot to mention, I wouldn't trade a single day now for 100 years the other way. She just smiled and rolled her eyes, 'cause she's heard all of my lies. I said, come on girl, seriously, if I hadn't been so lucky, I'd be shooting pool in my bachelor bed, playing bass in my cover bed, restocking that cold Bud Light for poker every Tuesday night. I'd have a dirt bike in the shed, now I'd throw a pillow on the way road, keep my cash in a coffee cake. If I was a single man, alone and out there on the loose, I'd be looking for a woman like you. Can somebody scream for me? She knows what a mess I'd be if I didn't have her. To be sure, I whispered in her ear. Okay, so with the ACM Awards, and we were up for Song of the Year, and it was awesome. We were very, very excited. You know, it may never ever happen ever again. You know, so we were just very excited to be up for Song of the Year. And late one night in the MGM Grand, I think it was the night of the ACMs, at about 2 o'clock in the morning, I was at a blackjack table. And I may or may not have been taking full advantage of the free cocktail service at the MGM. And I got, what do you call it? Feisty with my betting. And I had started with $100 and was up to $8,000. And
lost it how fast?
about 2 minutes, but before we get there, about that time I was like, yeah, you know, crazy betting, like betting that would give my mother a heart attack betting. And Lee Brice walks up and he was like, dude, let's get a tattoo. And I'm like, every red flag in my head is going off. I'm like, this does not sound like a good idea.
Let's be honest, you couldn't feel the red flags.
Yeah, I mean, so he was like, man, let's get a tattoo. Of course, there's a tattoo parlor in the MGM Grand. I mean, why wouldn't there? Right? So he goes, man, let's get a tattoo of the date A Woman Like You went #1. So I was like, okay. Keep telling me more. You know, the red flags are still there, but now it's kind of making sense. So he goes, we'll get the date of, you know, A Woman Like You #1, and it'll be like the greatest thing in the world, you know. And so we went, and it was me, Lee, and Lewis, his brother. And we go to this tattoo parlor, and we're videotaping it, and we Google the date A Woman Like You went #1, and it was like, it was so cool. It was such a, you know, bro thing, and, you know, I clearly did it because it's on my wrist. But, so Lee and I got the same date tattooed on our wrist, right? And like, this dot doesn't look like this dot because Lee had the tattoo gun and he did it. You know, it was like, all this awesome, right? So, 4/21/12. The date A Woman Like You went #1, right? So here's the moral of the story.
Don't just Google the date. Because, like 4/7, well, we had a #1 record. But 4/21, I found out is a fan, he turns 40. And that's about the only thing that happened on 4/21. Right there.
I think Blake Shelton went #1, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He took over at #1.
That's what I should say. So Blake Shelton, a song I had nothing to do with, but I just really liked it.
I mean, I came from Australia for a dream. I remember the date. It was the 9th, man.
You know,
John, that was the wrong day, man.
He called me and I was like, no.
And he was like, don't tell Lee.
Yeah. I tell him now, I was like, man, you know, I tell that story. It's like, you know, because if you ever see Lee in concert, you know, Lee does this whole bit in the middle, right at this part where we're talking, and I was like, man, you gotta tell that story. He was like, no, I'm never telling anybody that. I was like, I tell everybody every time I play the song. All you gotta do is YouTube it. Anyway, so we should probably finish the song. I know I get sick, deep sea fishing. You made the best fried chicken. I got a hopeless golf game. I love the sound of your name. Might miss that old green Nova, but I love watching you do yoga. Take a gold band on my head over being a single man. 'Cause honestly, I don't know what if I never met a woman